Stepping from our ordinary world into the fantastical, Immersive XP explores the weird and wonderful imaginations behind a diverse range of themed experiences. From virtual reality to escape rooms to live-action roleplay, nothing is off the table. We'll take a deep dive into what makes these adventures worth attending and which ones to avoid. Join me on a journey to explore the extraordinary and meet the people who make dreams a reality. Welcome back to another episode of Immersive XP. I'm Tayliss Forge, your non-binary host based in Southern California, seamstress by trade, silly little guy by trauma. Favorite tiki drink? A painkiller. Fun fact of the week. Tiki bars have been a part of California culture since the 1930s, with the opening of the first tiki bar in Hollywood, with many others to follow. Each location has its own unique flair, but many have pulled inspiration from an art style called Polynesian pop, which consists of indoor gardens and exotic theming. Many use the first tiki bar opened in 1933, Don the Beachcomber, which used tropical artifacts from the owner's travels as decor. Others use the aesthetics of Trader Vic's, which opened in Oakland, which used a beach hut-style interior, tropical decor, and tiki statues. The style had a boom for about 30 years across the globe and eventually fizzled. Since then, tiki bars have had a revival in the 1990s, and new ones are still popping up to this day. This episode is another Feed Me a Tale, which explores any kind of food or drink-related immersive experience. As you might have guessed, this one is about tiki bars. While I explore many experiences in the Los Angeles area, this mini tiki tour I did is for those visiting in Orange County. I visited 3 tiki bars in an evening that were about 10 to 15 minutes away from each other. The first, the Twisted Tiki in downtown Santa Ana. Second, Stowaway in Tustin. Last, but definitely not least, Strongwater in downtown Anaheim. Today, I am also joined by Dune Harman, who joined me for their first tiki experiences ever. Despite being born in Hawaii and living in California their whole life, my friends and I were a little surprised that they had never checked one out. So Dune, please tell us a little about yourself, and please explain yourself for this shocking crime.
Despite growing up in Hawaii and living here my whole life, I just never made it around to an actual tiki bar. I really have no defense because I love the tropics and I love the decor. I was so blown away by everything I saw that night.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself before we get into it.
A little bit about myself. Born and raised in LA, work in video post-production for a long time, and have done so many different types of experiences all over LA that I'm a little ashamed that I've never actually been to one.
You should feel shame. You should indeed. Before we get started on discussing each bar, I wanted to ask you some questions.
Sure.
So the first being, what were you expecting from going to a tiki bar based on what people had already told you?
Okay, so this is definitely part of why I think I never actually made it to one. Because the vibe that I got from people describing them to me was kind of dingy, very much dive bar vibe, and very loud music and lots of flashing colors.
That's very fair.
Which I don't think we really saw at all.
No.
So yeah, the vibe, the expectation was sensory overload. The result, or the actual experience, was much quieter.
Well, no spoilers.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense that you have assumed those things, and I know that you have a lot of sensory issues when it comes to sound, etc. So I don't think I would have recommended a tiki bar to you if I had assumed that was going to be an issue for you. So, next question. What kind of drinks and food were you expecting there to be?
To follow along that kind of thread, I think that I was expecting the drinks to be very simple and very overly sweet and not really having any complexity to them. Mm-hmm. And I think I was expecting the food to be similarly dive bar grease with the sprinkling of Spam or something like that on top. Growing up in Hawaii, I do love Spam, but
I
doesn't
love
really,
spam.
really make a complete meal or really change it.
Yeah. Sadly, I can only have turkey spam, but yes, want more spam. Would you have gone of your own volition if I had not kidnapped you?
I don't think so. I don't think I would have, again, without intervention.
Yeah. All right, well, I'll get right into it. Our first stop of the evening was the Twisted Tiki located in downtown Santa Ana. This is on the first floor of the McFadden Public Market, which features multiple quick food stops and hosts a barcade upstairs called Mission Control. The bar and lounge opened in 2019 and has had different variations of the interior's aesthetic, which may be slightly confusing as they haven't updated their website with current images of the space. Along with a ukulele-themed bar that can seat 8 people, the opposite wall has cozy beach cabana-style alcoves with more private tables. The Twisted Tiki is open every evening except Mondays, with happy hour from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. with $12 to $13 drinks, even on the weekends. Something to note, the bar only serves drinks. You are more than welcome to bring any food from the public market inside, and some vendors will deliver it directly to you if you let them know you'll be in the bar. Dune had the purple Polynesian sunset from the happy hour menu, which is a pina colada using butterfly pea flowers for the vibrant purple color. This is a very sweet drink that has rum, pineapple juice, and coconut syrup topped with a bruleed pineapple slice. Of course, don't forget the tiny umbrella. As for my drink, I asked our server, Tiki Timmy, what his favorite drink to make is on their menu, which is why I had the Sandy Chichi, which is his variation of the pina colada. This was a mango vodka, pineapple juice, coconut liqueur, and topped with cinnamon. Things that I liked. The exterior before entering the bar is super cute and welcoming, as well as the work on the interior space makes you feel like you're transported to a beach hideaway. With the limited space, it is better for more intimate occasions. They also had mocktails for $10 each, which all looked really yummy. I just wish they cost a little bit less. Things that I didn't like. This place is tiny. If we had not gone on a weeknight, it would have been almost impossible to find seating. 16 people could comfortably fit, while I wouldn't recommend more than 20 for an uncomfortable fit. Parking nearby is paid and is a block or more away. As for accessibility, we were both grateful that the music was low, and since the space is so limited, it is unlikely to ever get too loud. I could anticipate a level of claustrophobia if the place was completely full, though. The Tiki Bar is also located next to the front of the public market with easy access. While the road is very walkable, you may need to be dropped off at the front if parking a block away is difficult for you. As for the audience, of course, this is 21 plus with parties no larger than 6. According to Tiki Timmy, generally on weekdays, couples tend to go, while it is more of a chill hotspot for college students on the weekends. Now we have some more questions for Dune. Don't shake your head at me. So what were your thoughts as this being your first tiki bar?
So I really think that we started off in the best possible place because it was, as you said, very small and intimate. We just happened to be at a time when there was very little people there, so it felt as if you were stumbling off a ship on a tropical island, and there was just a hut, and you had your own private bartender. Yeah,
I feel like that's very accurate. And also, I was glad there wasn't that many people either.
Same. And that was something that I did recognize, that I think if it is full, because it's so small, it might actually feel kind of loud, or get loud because it's so small.
Between our drinks, which one did you like better?
I did like mine a little bit better.
No,
it was
I agree.
it was sweeter, but I think that the flavors worked better. And the bruleed pineapple slice was delicious. That was a nice touch.
It looked really yummy. Yeah, I tried yours, and definitely between mine and yours, it was really good, which after reading up on the menu on the website, our bartender, Tiki Timmy, was actually the one who invented my drink, which is why it made sense that he was just like, yeah, this is my favorite one to
This
make.
is the one to try.
This is the one to try. Which it was good, don't get me wrong, but I think what would have made it better if it was actually using like a coconut rum. And since it was using the mango vodka instead, I think yours was just like another level of like yummy.
Yeah, agreed. Yours, well,
Something was missing.
something was missing.
Is there anything you would change or improve about this bar?
It's tricky because I think that the small size is both a blessing and a curse.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that going into that, it was very nice that it was so small. Again, I think if it's crowded, that size is detrimental. Trying to imagine that environment larger is tricky for me.
Yeah.
As we'll discuss with the next few, but I think that it needs to be that small to get the same effect.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know that I would really change much. Yeah, being able to get food delivered into the place was a really cool feature.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think so.
I think if it did have the bigger space with having like the cabana style huts, I could see them having more of those.
That's fair. Yeah, if there was more pockets
Yeah,
of
more
space.
pockets, or even have those like closed off with like actual private cabana where it's like more of a semi-private room.
Yeah.
I could see that being neat.
Cute little screen.
Yeah.
Then I think that, if you had it a little bit larger, could incorporate a little bit more separate spaces, I think that would be better. There's definitely a part on the edge of the bar where we were sitting that as we were trying to leave, we realized that like if we had tried to sat anywhere further in, like we just couldn't.
Yeah, there was no way we would have gotten out.
We would have to have 6 people get up and leave to have the last person get out.
Yeah, that was a little confusing. I think the only other thing that I was thinking that I would have probably changed is they charge like extra if you put a drink in a mug that you borrowed from them, which feels a little bit odd because a lot of the other places will have like a specific drink that they put it in that special mug. And so it should just be included in the price if they're going to do that.
I thought that was like the buy the mug or take the mug home.
No. You borrow the mug. And they ask for like a $10 deposit, so in case you steal it, which I'm just like, who's stealing these mugs?
It does seem like they should just charge a little bit more and have you walk out with the mug.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, it was like a borrowed mug, and so it was like a array of different mugs, but typically for a lot of tiki bars, they'll have like a specific style mug that they use for some of their drinks. So it's like most drinks will be in their classic style mug, and then it's like if you get like the zombie, for example, you'll get in a zombie head mug and so on and so forth. So I thought that was just like an odd extra charge for a place like this.
Yeah, definitely. And not having any awareness of what that was. I was just reading the menu being like, huh, okay.
Just seems like an odd extra charge.
Weird.
All right, well, we'll go to the next one. You can answer more questions after that one. The second tiki bar of the evening was Stowaway in Tustin, which is extremely deceptive from the outside. You would have no idea that next to a dentist and a gas station, a tiki bar that can comfortably seat over 100 people is inside. The interior, while waiting to be seated, feels like the inside of a ship and features some of their rare collected tiki mugs. The main space has a large countertop bar where we sat, as well as multiple booths surrounding it. Toward the back, there are pool tables and semi-private rooms with large couches to host even larger groups. While the space is very immersive with great decor, lighting, and cozy seating, it does feel very much like you're in a bar. I could easily see the space becoming a completely different vibe with few major changes required. Stowaway is open daily except Mondays, with a happy hour from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on weekdays, which has $10 drinks and discounts on some food items. In addition to drinks that average $14 each, they have a collection of over 100 different rums to try from around the world. Their food is a Polynesian fusion that goes above and beyond typical bar food. While all the food off their menu looked amazing, I definitely want to go back to check out their weekend brunch sometime. If that wasn't enough to get you to make the visit, there was an entire section of the bar we didn't even have time to explore. A hidden speakeasy called the Belly of the Beast, where you walk through the jaws of a whale, was hidden somewhere inside. Maybe for a future speakeasy tour, I'll make the trip into the depths of the sea. For the drinks, Dune tried the Kona coffee, which was a spiced rum with a macadamia nut liqueur, espresso, and coconut. If you're an espresso martini person like I am, this is definitely the drink for you. The alcohol is so well hidden and just a yummy, delightful drink. As for my drink, I asked Tiki Timmy what his favorite drink was while at the Twisted Tiki, and he recommended the Tropical Itch. It was presented in such a fun way and in an extremely tall glass. It contains bourbon, dark rum, passion fruit, lemon, and sweet and sour. I am not a lightweight by any means, especially when it comes to rum, but for $15, this drink almost put me under. Proceed with caution, but it was an amazing beverage. I definitely understand why it was recommended from a seasonal tiki enjoyer. We also got some food to split, and by far our favorite was the curry fries with an egg on top. The curry itself was well seasoned and great for a chilly night. We also tried the honey sriracha shrimp skewers over a bed of rice and salad. I would say this was more of just battered honey shrimp, which was good, but a little disappointing overall. Things that I liked. The menu is very extensive and has vegetarian and vegan options available. The prices are also very reasonable for drinks, especially considering that there was so much movement in the space that even if the place was full, I could imagine it not feeling too cramped. Parking is fairly abundant, with free parking lot right outside. Things that I didn't like. There wasn't a mocktail menu, and I'm sure something could have been made if requested, but I really like it when they take the extra care to add it to the menu. For how large the space is, the bathrooms are fairly limited, which is never a good sign when drinks are the main focus. In addition, the pool tables are right up against the restroom doors, which meant I had to wait for people to finish their turn before I could enter. I also could potentially see that as a safety hazard when exiting. Rumor has it that they might be changing that very soon. As for accessibility, Stowaway is all on a single floor with plenty of room for movement, aside from the pool table concerns. The music is low and calm, but with more people, I could see it become very overwhelming with sound. As for the audience, 21 plus, and perfect spot for almost any occasion. The age group I saw ranged from early 20s to mid 50s. Got more questions for you, Dune.
Let's do it.
How do you feel like this place compared to the first one?
The second location was just so much larger. To me, they really are completely different categories of spaces. I really loved how open the layout was, and the theming just felt very fun. All in all, I get what you mean about it feeling kind of like more like a bar. And I would definitely say that. It definitely felt bar-esque. Saying the same thing, but
yes, this bar felt
bar-esque. But that it seemed to be that like next step. If the first place was really a tiki hut that you're getting drinks in, this definitely felt like a bar on a tropical island, with a lot of the same kind of features, like the pool tables, like those. That sort of vibe made it feel like there was other stuff happening. But also because it was spread out enough, it didn't have that like, kind of cramped bar feel, which I find that most traditional bars do kind of fall into.
Absolutely. Yeah, I really liked having much more open space. And even like the bar seats weren't too close to each other, which I really appreciated.
Yeah, all around the spacing, even though we were sitting at the bar looking at the booths, looked like there was plenty of space. Like it just felt like everyone wasn't cramped all around.
Between our drinks at this place, which one did you like better?
Oof. This is hard because I want to say mine because I love an espresso martini. But I do feel like if you had just served my drink in an espresso cup or glass, you wouldn't really notice the difference. Whereas yours definitely packed that tropical punch. So I love them both. My tastes lean more towards the coffee liqueur and maybe more traditional drinks in general. So, I don't know. I think it's a toss-up.
Yeah. I do feel that they're very much different drinks, so it's a little bit hard to compare.
Yeah.
I do think with the macadamia nut liqueur, I can talk. Yours was really yummy, and I think that added like another level to a traditional espresso martini. Like I would love to just get a macadamia nut liqueur just to add to an espresso martini.
Yeah, agreed. And that's where I think that it was very tasty, and it was a take on an espresso martini that fit the vibe, but maybe doesn't pack as much of like the tropical
the
feel.
Tiki feel.
The tiki feel.
Yeah, I think that between our two drinks, I think I liked mine a lot, especially because the presentation was really cute.
Oh, yours, hands down, was gorgeous. And such a tall glass.
Oh yeah, it was so tall. I was like, I'm going to die. Like I was halfway through and I was just like, if I finish this, I don't know.
I remember watching them make it and I wasn't sure what drink they were making or if it was for us. I was like, that's a huge glass. What is that for? And then they come and put it in front of you. I'm like, ooh, okay.
Okay, I'm gonna die. This is fine. But it's so good. Is there anything that you would change or improve about this bar?
Definitely moving the bathrooms a little away from the pool tables.
I think
agree.
moving the pool tables is a lot easier than moving the bathrooms.
Oh, you're probably right. That's definitely a lot easier. It's crazy. Probably moving the pool tables a little further away. It's tricky, though, in terms of space design, because you also don't necessarily want the bathrooms right next to where people are sitting.
Yeah.
So it is one of those tricky situations of like, what's the best of worst situation? But I think that, could have been a little bit easier.
I don't even think that necessarily pool tables need to be there. I think like something like an activity there is a cool idea in the middle of the space, but I think pool tables where sticks are involved and people are trying to get through and potentially get jabbed, that's like...
I agree, yeah.
Scary to me.
It was a fun idea of having a game there. I agree, though. I think that pool is maybe not a game that I would put in a tiki bar.
Yeah, I have to agree.
But it was fun that there was some varied interaction. The food was incredible. That blew me away. I was not expecting this. The curry fries were so good.
Yeah, I want to go back. For the last place that we visited, which requires reservations, was Strongwater in downtown Anaheim. This is another go-to spot of mine for dates and special occasions. It has won awards year after year for its Lost Voyage rum, cocktails, and food. While the prices are going to be higher than your average tiki bar, so is the level of immersion. Stepping inside, you instantly feel like you've walked into the inside of a ship with hidden details everywhere. From the bathrooms to the multiple bar tops and even the curved wooden roof, everything was considered. While I'm normally someone who prefers a table so I can focus on my date, this is one of the few places I make an exception. The bartenders are some of the friendliest people you'll ever meet, and they are so knowledgeable about their craft. Strongwater is open every evening with a long list of drinks and a rotating food menu. For drinks, we had to sample the Lost Voyage rum, which was so well loved. It's smooth and something I would love to sip on its own, not just for using in amazing cocktails that Strongwater makes. Dune tried the Zombie King, which came in a beautiful skull mug with tentacles curling around the base. It contains 3 different kinds of rums with a heavy molasses flavor, pineapple, cinnamon, and black walnut bitters. It was one of my favorite drinks of the night, along with my own that I ordered. I ordered a classic, the Jet Pilot, which has 3 different kinds of spiced rum, Velvet Valnerum, absinthe, grapefruit, and cinnamon. It was an extremely well-crafted cocktail, and I would definitely order it again, if not for the fact that there are too many other things I want to try. As for food, we split the coconut curry rice, which was another perfect food for a chilly evening. We also had the Japanese curry tots with an egg on top, and it could not hold a candle to the curry fries we had at Stowaway. Still delicious, but more expensive for a less curated dish. For dessert, we split the Bananas Foster cake, which had toppings of rum caramel, pistachios, and whipped cream, which added another layer of yum. Things I liked. The rotating menu every season means that there's always something new to try. They also have a special occasion evening once in a while with a brand new menu, which really feels special. I've gone one year for Valentine's Day, and I still think about the strawberry cocktail from time to time. Most of their drinks are served in super well-crafted tiki mugs that you can also purchase, while they are pretty expensive. Another thing I really like is I just think the bathrooms are neat. That's a detail that is often overlooked, but Strongwater goes above and beyond into curating perfect aesthetics. Did they need 20 different locks on their door? Absolutely not. Is it fun to mess with? 100% yes. Well, I could go on and on about just the level of detail in the building with creating an immersive space. What really makes this place feel like a tiki bar are the drinks and the people who make them. Strongwater hires talented individuals who do good work and make the customers happy. That is the backbone of what makes an incredible space. Things that I didn't like. With a frequently rotating menu, some food items can feel a little disappointing. Sometimes I leave a little bit bummed on what should have been something fantastic. Reservations are limited to 90 minutes, and I always want more time. While I completely understand that the location can really fit only 30 people comfortably and the reservations are hard to come by, I really don't want to leave. As for accessibility, Strongwater is on a single floor, but pretty cramped. Movement can be tricky and difficult to navigate. Since the number of people is limited and requires a reservation, it doesn't get too loud inside, which makes it much easier for conversation. Parking is a little limited in the area, so depending on when you go, it could be an easy distance to travel or difficult. I recommend a rideshare if possible. For the audience, 21 plus, and this is going to be typically for nicer occasions, while casual dress is still fully welcome. I generally see an older age range for attendees, while the bartenders are typically around my age in their 30s. You got more questions, Dune? Are you ready?
Ready.
So how do you feel Strongwater compared to both the Twisted Tiki and Stowaway?
Yeah, it really felt like throughout the entire evening, we just leveled up every experience because I really feel like I got the full range of on the beach, in a shack, getting served by a bartender, to a more traditional bar feel, still beautiful aesthetic, to then what felt like a place that I just want to go to dinner and hang out there. I loved this last place so much. The decor was so well curated. I think I spent a solid 10 minutes just looking at stuff in and around the bathroom.
Oh yeah.
but it's not just that. As you said, the bartenders and the food, we talked with bartenders the entire evening. Mm-hmm. And I could totally see a place with one or the other. But the fact that this place has both, it really does feel like they've thought of and prioritized the full experience.
Yep. I couldn't agree more. Yeah, I really love everyone that I've talked to there, and they seem to like really enjoy working there too, which I really love.
Yeah, I definitely didn't get that anyone at the other places didn't enjoy working there, but there's a level of passion and connection that was just different.
Yeah, and they were also super knowledgeable about just the building and everything, and
not only that and their own drinks, but other places. Mm-hmm. We talked about so many different events and experiences all around LA, mm-hmm. not just the Tiki Bar.
Yep. Yeah. So between our drinks, which one did you like better?
I think I liked yours better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you saying you're like, that is the most well-crafted cocktail I've ever had.
In terms of like tropical flavors and stuff like that, it hit on everything that I personally would want. Yeah. In that experience.
Yeah, it's a classic.
It was delightful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, also yours came in a cooler mug, though.
Oh, mine came in a very cool mug. That being said, those types of skull mugs are kind of hard to hold.
Yeah.
And because it was chilled so nicely, it does feel as though you reached your hand into the seawater and pulled up a large shell or skull.
Yep. Yeah.
Drink out of.
Yeah, it was a tentacle Cthulhu skull-esque thing. You just icy cold, poured a drink right in. Mm.
I definitely want to try everything on the menu, though.
Oh yeah, me too. If it wasn't so expensive.
It is pricier.
I mean, it's only a few dollars more than the other places. I think it's mostly going there for food and drinks that can be really difficult.
Yes, and I think that, again, it's one of those things where because you want to spend so much time there, you want to order a lot more. And then you look at the price and you're like, okay, this is definitely more. But
Well, I definitely want to go back. Is there anything you would change or improve about this bar?
no. Maybe the price, but also that the price makes it feel more exclusive, more fancy, more.
Yeah. Well, even I don't think that the price is invalid in any way. Like,
Agreed.
The level of skill and attention to detail on these drinks are worth more. Like, they burned cinnamon in my drink. It was so lovely.
It was amazing. A burned cinnamon stick with this fresh bunch of mint.
And also, like, having the beautiful, like, serving ware and cups and everything. And of course, just like the people that work there. Clearly it's worth that price.
The menus themselves, and I think I actually mentioned while we were there that I expected it being more expensive. Definitely was more expensive than the other places, but it's doable.
Yeah.
But the menus themselves are beautiful. The level of care and detail, and I think you mentioned that we were sat in a different room than you've been in.
Yeah.
And the menus are actually different because they reference artwork that's in the room with you. That's a level of detail and care that is so much fun.
Yeah, I love that. And I want to go back when you can see like their huge menu, because like our bartender said, normally there's like a much larger list of beverages to pick from.
I think she said that normally there's like about 50 drinks and there was about 30 currently.
So
can't even imagine what other drinks are there.
I don't remember. I mean, I've been I think about 5 other times, and there's just always something new to try. All right. So this is more of questions about the all of them as a whole. Which of the 3 would you want to return to?
I think it
doesn't have to be just one of them either.
Yeah, as I feel like I've kind of hinted at the whole evening, it does feel like each place has a purpose and a function. So I think I would like to go back to all of them with the proper setting.
Yeah.
I can totally see after work going to the first one. What was it called?
Twisted Tiki.
Going to Twisted Tiki after work. Having that kind of one-on-one time with the bartender and someone you're there with, that would be a great post-work situation. The second one, name?
Stowaway.
Should have at least reviewed these before coming in.
Nah.
And for Stowaway, I would love to go back for brunch with maybe a smaller, like a small group of people. It definitely has, again, the more traditional bar feel, but without what I find frustrating in bars having sensory issues, it being kind of claustrophobic or crowded or overly loud. So I feel like this would be a great place to go with people. And going on a date, what was the last place called?
Strongwater.
And for Strongwater, I would definitely love to go back as a date for any sort of fun, fancy occasion. Or, I mean, even just for drinks and dessert after.
It's just so cute.
It is so hard to put into words how every single bit of attention to detail and aesthetic choice combined then with the food, the care, the service, all of those things come together to just create an experience that I was not prepared for.
Yeah, and I'm also really interested in the new bar that's opening up this year.
Yeah.
Double Luck, I believe was what it was called.
Yeah.
And they basically have nothing posted about it, but based on the interviews that I've read, it's not going to be immersive, unfortunately, but still a very curated attention to detail on the menu and the drinks, which I think from everything that I've tried, I mean, Blind Rabbit was also built by the same owners. I think that they really, really care about their employees and the level of detail.
Yeah, and I think they mentioned that the drinks there should be cheaper,
I
think was the goal. Yeah. That is more of a place that you can go more commonly. And so I think if they take that same attention to detail and care with this new place,
You
Sounds
can
perfect.
walk from each other. They're literally on the same block.
That's great. We'll go, get cheaper cocktails, and then maybe
Pregame with cheaper cocktails,
one place, and then go for dessert and a final drink in the evening.
Right,
great.
Love it. So what do you think of the entire night? What are some details that stood out to you?
Yeah, I think that overall, the theme of the tropical vibe and atmosphere is definitely felt throughout the entire thing, entire evening. And I think that that's something that definitely was imparted to me before going. Everyone has kind of shared that is a central feature of tiki bars, but I think that the things that stood out were some of the creativity with the drinks that you don't maybe normally see in most bars, because most bars will have your standard 15 cocktails without that much creativity.
Yeah, not a lot of variation.
Not a lot of variation. You might have like a seasonal drink or two, but it seems like the amount of variation at these places was impressive.
Mm-hmm.
I think that definitely stood out. The food was way better than any bar food that I've ever had, which was super surprising.
Mm-hmm.
I would go back just for dinner.
Yeah.
At both of the last two places.
Yeah. I'm thinking about those curry fries.
Curry fries.
Those curry fries. Oh, those curry
Which
fries.
it killed me that the curry tots weren't as good. Because I think I wanted to like them more.
Yeah, I wanted
just
to like
because
them
of
more.
the atmosphere.
Yeah. I mean, it felt good just because of the immersion, but also those curry fries.
Oh, those curry fries were so good.
Yeah, and it's like a $5 price difference too, and those curry fries are just like,
yeah,
I want those. And yeah, no, definitely want to go back for the brunch. There's just a lot that can really stand out in each of those just levels of immersion. Yeah,
and I think that definitely as we kind of escalated throughout the evening, like it definitely felt that, or I definitely felt that the experience of going to these sorts of places is just radically different than going to any traditional bar. And I think that was maybe the biggest takeaway, being like, oh, this is a different environment, this different expectation that I can have, and not experiencing this before, it is really fun.
Yeah.
I want to go back to some of these places and bring people there, probably people who have already been to tiki bars, but
well, you also have one that's so close to you, so now maybe you'll be more intrigued to go check it out.
We'll have to go.
So now that we've gone to all of these, do you like tiki bars now?
Ooh. I think yes. I think ultimately yes. I had a great time. I think that as someone who does struggle with sensory issues, I could totally see how if any of these places were very crowded or busy, it might be difficult for me. If I don't know if, I think the second place called?
Stowaway.
I think that if Stowaway, I think you mentioned that there was a few TVs there. I just didn't even clock. Nope.
I don't remember.
Got that. I think.
Remember how I said my drink was so tall?
Yes. I think that if you ever had a sports game or a party happening in any of these places, like, it would definitely be too much for me. But after experiencing this, I think I am a fan.
Yay! I did my job. You were so unwilling. I kidnapped you, and now you're a fan of tiki bars.
Yep. Threw a bag over my head, knocked me out.
Yep.
Threw me in a van.
Threw you in a van. Even though you drove the whole time.
Yep. Drove with a bag over my head.
Well, thank you so much for coming on to Immersive XP to, talk about your experience for first time. And now this is proof to everyone that you have done the thing. No one can shame you anymore. But thank you so much, Dune.
Thank you for having me.
Until next time.
The silence feels heavy. It's because something is weighing your response. Check out our
website, immersivexps.com, to join our free Ko-fi, which will have visuals and additional content of the immersive experiences discussed in each episode. If you are an immersive experience artist or creator, no matter how small, consider contacting us so you can take part on a future podcast. This podcast is recorded and produced by SoCal Podcast Studio in Orange County. Thanks for listening. Favorite tiki drink? A painkiller. Not even true. I don't actually know.